In 2023, Netflix faced backlash from the North African country of Tunisia. The backlash occurred because Netflix selected Denzel Washington, a prominent African-American actor, to play Hannibal Barca, the great Carthaginian general who terrorized the Roman Empire around 20 BC. Tunisia objects to Hannibal being played by a black actor. According to Tunisia, having a black man portray Hannibal is an historical error. Traditionally, actors do not have to precisely resemble the historical figures they are portraying. Great actors have the ability to capture the audience's imagination. Tunisian skin colors range from fair to dark. Hannibal's actual skin color and race have been debated for a long time. No one knows for sure what Hannibal looked like. There are no pictures, paintings, statues, or descriptions of Hannibal's physical appearance that exist today, that were created at the time he was alive. Declarations that Hannibal was either black or white are pure speculation. Carthage, the birthplace of Hannibal, was founded by Phoenicians from Tyre, a city in Lebanon, in 814 BC. Phoenicians were Semitic people with copper, bronze, or red skin color. At the time the Phoenicians settled in Carthage, the indigenous African people of Carthage were Berbers who had dark skin color. The indigenous Berber tribes, including the Masmuda, Sanhaya, Ketamazanada, and Nafusa, are described as dark reddish-brown or black. Anthropologist Dana Reynolds traced the African roots of the original North African people through a dozen Greek and Byzantine writers, from the 1st to the 6th century AD. According to Reynolds, they describe the Berber population of North Africa as dark-skinned and woolly-haired. There was admixture between the Phoenicians and the Berbers, which produced biracial offspring. Hannibal was born in 247 BC, almost 6 centuries after Phoenicians settled Carthage and began to mix with Berbers. Hannibal was the son of Hamilcar Barca, a Carthaginian leader who, like other Carthaginians, may have had Phoenician and Berber ancestry. Hannibal's mother is unknown. Hannibal could have had Phoenician and Berber ancestry. Carthage was a melting pot of Phoenician, Berber, and Mediterranean influences, with diverse populations coexisting within its boundaries. French historian Gabriel Audicio, who wrote Hannibal, the military biography of Rome's greatest enemy in 1961, said he considered Hannibal to be neither a Phoenician, nor a Carthaginian, nor a Punic, but a North African. The majority of the Punic populace seems to have had African, indeed Negroid, ancestry. The Punic population is described as having a brownish skin color. What determines whether a person is black varies from country to country. By American standards, a North African with a brownish skin color would be considered black. In Tunisia, a North African with a brownish skin color might not be considered black. In Tunisia, an African person from the sub-Saharan region of Africa would be considered black. Today, Tunisia, the country where Carthage was located, is 98% Arab and predominantly Muslim. For many years, Tunisians have displayed a great deal of animosity towards black immigrants from sub-Saharan Africa. According to Amnesty International, Tunisian President Kais Saied made a speech in February 2023 that incited violence against black African migrants across Tunisia. President Saied said that hordes of irregular migrants from sub-Saharan Africa had come to Tunisia with all the violence, crime, and unacceptable practices that entails. Saied said this was an unnatural situation and part of a criminal plan designed to change the demographic makeup and turn Tunisia into just another African country that doesn't belong to the Arab and Islamic nations anymore. Beginning in early February, Tunisian police carried out arrests, seemingly targeting black African foreigners based on their appearance or the neighborhoods in which they live. Therefore, in light of Tunisia's History of Racial Prejudice Against Sub-Saharan Black Africans. It comes as no surprise that Tunisians object to Denzel Washington, an actor with dark skin color, being cast in the role of Hannibal, a Tunisian legend, in a Netflix production. Netflix is an American media services provider, headquartered in Los Gatos, California. Netflix is the largest streaming service in the world. In 2023, the company reported 247 million global paid memberships. Denzel Washington is a critically acclaimed actor who is African American. Mr. Washington has won 2 Academy Awards and has been nominated for other roles. Over the course of several decades, he has been a success at the box office and shown the ability to draw mainstream white audiences. Recently, the American film industry has cast black actors in the role of Hannibal. The History Channel, an American cable television network, selected a black actor for the role of Hannibal in a miniseries titled Barbarians Rising in 2016. Nicholas Pinnock, a black British actor, played the role of Hannibal. Vin Diesel, a mixed-race American actor, has been selected to play the role of Hannibal in an upcoming film titled Hannibal the Conqueror. A large American corporation portrayed Hannibal as a black man in its advertising campaign. In 1975, Anheuser-Busch, the maker of Budweiser, launched an advertising campaign featuring paintings titled Great Kings of Africa. One of the Great Kings of Africa paintings portrayed Hannibal as a black man dressed as a Carthaginian general. The paintings were reproduced and made available to the public. These powerful images appeared on the walls of classrooms, the windows of convenience stores, and on the pages of popular magazines. The images appeared on posters and calendars. They were displayed at global events, such as World Fairs and Summer Olympics. The paintings were also displayed in the U.S. Capitol and other prestigious venues. By the early 1980s, an estimated 11 million people had viewed the paintings at museums, college campuses, conventions, and cultural festivals. The Great Kings of Africa paintings helped to establish the American public's perception of Hannibal as a proud and powerful black man. In 2015, international photographer James C. Lewis created the African Kings series of photographs that portrayed Hannibal as a strong and attractive black man dressed in African garments. The African Kings series was initially exhibited in Paris, France. Unlike Tunisians, Americans have a liberal view of who's black. The U.S. racial classification black refers to people with all possible kinds of skin pigmentation, from the darkest through to the very lightest skin colors, if they are believed by others to have African ancestry. From the late 19th century, the South used a colloquial term, the one-drop rule, to classify as black a person of any known African ancestry. This is known as hypodescent. In 1985, a Louisiana court ruled that a fair-skinned woman with almond eyes was black. The woman believed she was white and lived her life as a white person. Under state law, this woman, who appeared to be white, was determined to be black because her great-great-great-great-grandmother was black. The state traced Susie Guillory Phipps' genealogy back 222 years to a black slave named Margarita, who was owned by John Gregory Guillory. John Guillory was white, and Miss Phipps' great-great-great-great-grandfather. In Louisiana, a person who has 1/32 black blood is black. Despite appearing to be white, the court's ruling meant that Miss Phipps could not be identified as white on official documents, such as her birth certificate. The one-drop rule is a relic of American slavery. In the pre-Civil War South, white slave owners were known to rape their black female slaves in order to produce more slaves, who could be put to work or be sold. The offspring were mixed race, but still considered slaves. Southern slave codes dictated that the child of an enslaved mother was also a slave for life. The one-drop rule meant that anyone who had African ancestry was black, even if they appeared to be white. The United States was the only country to adopt the one-drop rule. European archaeologists found coins that were minted while Hannibal was alive. The coins were found in Italy, at the site of the Lake Trasimene battle, which took place into 17 BC. The coins apparently portray Hannibal with African features. The coins have a profile image that portrays Hannibal as having woolly hair, a broad nose, and thick lips. Based on the coins' images, in the United States, Hannibal would be identified as a black man because of his apparent African ancestry. Other coins and statues that portray Hannibal as white were created a century or more after Hannibal's death.